Hey everyone, this is Rob.
And Michelle.
And welcome to Bunebape, your weekly podcast on everything you need to know about old school RuneScape. First things first, I am a little under the weather, so if I sound a little under the weather, you are right.
That's why.
That is exactly why. But of course, as always, we are going to be starting this podcast off with a little bit of what we have been up to this week, and then we'll be going right into some pretty exciting stuff. Actually, some deceiving amounts of stuff because it's actually the new skill pitch, of course, and then
We got the results of that poll.
Yeah, we got the results of the poll, and then the thing that's kind of surprising is we only have 7 lines of update to go over.
Oh.
But it's so much more than 7 lines because it includes all of the rewards for the Desert Treasure quest.
Yeah, the beta about it.
Yes.
And also we have lots of thoughts on the skill thing too.
Yeah, we have a lot to go over. So we're going to be talking all about the new skill, all about the new rewards, and of course, we'll be ending off with a Q&A as usual. So if you do want to participate in the Q&A, you can ask us questions anywhere at our social media. You can find them in the description below, at the end of the podcast, or head over to Michelle's Twitch, or our Twitch, and Michelle streams regularly, and we have all the links there as well.
Yeah, something also I don't think I've ever actually said is if you listen on Spotify, we do like weekly Q&As on there. Like I asked just random questions that we talked about that you could answer, and you could. I mean, I actually read those. I do appreciate everyone who
we do
types
get
in
some.
answers.
We do get some.
But if you guys want, you could ask even a Q&A on there, and that's an easier way than having to find our socials if you're already listening on Spotify.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever actually acknowledged that. That's the thing.
Yeah, we do appreciate everyone that does answer on there. It's not very common, but whenever we do, it's nice. But before we get into any of that, of course, as always, Michelle, how's it going?
It's going pretty well. I finished the bingo.
Yeah, tell everyone how well your team did.
So well. Second to last place. You know.
Second to last place. Let it be known that she did assemble this team knowing that 2
of them were going to be busy during the week.
Exactly. So 1, they wouldn't have everyone all the time, and 2, I think just in general they're not like the most PVM like end game players.
A few of them are.
Like
but,
no doubt
not all of them.
Exactly. No doubt that some of them have done end game stuff, but it's not like last team, for example.
Oh, last team I was finding people who were like rank 10 Serb and stuff.
Yeah, like last team there was people that have experience at all content and were high level in them. So it's like it's kind of like a stark contrast going from first to nearly last. Essentially last.
Well, okay, he says nearly last because last place was the Just for Fun team that literally didn't even pay money to enter. They were just doing it for fun.
Yeah, they were just there to like see what cards they got and if they could do them.
But I'd like to say it's not necessarily... It's like the same thing as the bingo last time. The reason that we won last time. It's all RNG. Like, we were going really dry. None of us were able to get Zenite, even though several of us spent, like, several hours there.
Yeah.
No one was able to get Zenite. I was getting, like, several heavy ballista pieces and stuff, but never the Zenite.
True.
So we were just going, like, mega dry, which is unfortunate. But, yeah, I did know that people were going to be busy, but I don't have any regrets about it. I had a lot of fun playing with my team.
Yeah.
It was cool.
Yeah, obviously it's all for fun. Also, I guess to kind of call you out, you didn't play that much. Well,
yeah, no, because I started working and then I had the sponsorship.
Yeah, in comparison to how much you played last time or normally play, you didn't play that much.
Even compared to a normal week, I played less, so I feel kind of bad about that.
Yeah.
I'm going to take responsibility for that, for sure.
Yeah, but
it still was a lot of fun. I just like playing games with people, and going to God Wars Dungeon, like, sucks, but going to God War Dungeon with friends is kind of cool.
Yeah, I think it'd be kind of cool to do stuff like that for, like, the community. Like, whenever you stream, you could be like, I like the, like, skill of the week type stuff. Or
we should honestly do stuff like that in our Discord, but I don't know what to do.
Or monster of the week. It's pretty easy. You just pick, like, if it's a skill of the week or a monster of the week, and just that, and then whoever gets the most XP or the most drops from that boss gets a reward or something like that.
I want to do a Bunebape bingo someday.
Yeah, you could do that too if you want to mix it up and not just do a singular thing.
Would you do it though?
I don't know.
You'd be more inclined to do skill of the week or monster of the week, probably.
Maybe
skill of the week I think would be the most accessible for everyone.
Yeah,
because anyone could do a skill for a week.
She asked that because for anyone that hasn't been keeping up, I've kind of like lost some or most of my interest recently with combat in this game.
Mm-hmm.
It's
he actually was playing last week.
Yeah, I've been skilling.
Yeah, He's become a skiller.
Yeah, I
don't know. Which is funny because he used to be the opposite. You used to hate skilling.
Yeah,
on your main.
The more I played the game, the less intrigued I am by the combat.
Also, it's like harder because you're iron too.
Yeah,
it's not going to come as easily.
Yeah, I guess so. I like the iron aspect more because you're forced to use certain like things and certain like strategies and stuff like that. Yeah, I don't know. It's because like the combat, I guess, is so simple that there's like those ironclad like strategies for like end game stuff, which makes it kind of like sleeper for me.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, if you're not doing this end game stuff, you're just like, or if you're not doing this particular strategy, then you're just doing it wrong because it's so
not efficiency.
It's so simple and it's so ironed out that it's like, this is the best. That's it.
Yeah, sometimes it's nice. Like this week I've actually been doing a lot of chambers. We've been doing a lot of like mass raids, like over 8 people sometimes, which if you didn't know, that gives you 4 phases of the Olm head. But it was funny because like we were just doing like chaotic raids, like no one really talking things through, just sending it, and those are fun. And then we were doing it with this person who actually like, I guess like has people pay them for boosting and raids and stuff.
Yeah.
And they were like taking things slowly and doing like all the correct strategies and stuff so no one would like take damage and we get the most points. And I'm like, this is fun, but I think I definitely like chaotic, just send it, do whatever, raids more.
Well, yeah, that's definitely just preference.
Kind of like you're saying, like, because it's like they were doing like the more ironed out methods, and I'm like, I just want to send it.
Yeah. No, I agree. I don't know. The game kind of just also feels bad if you don't do things efficiently, because then it costs you more time and more supplies. And as an Iron Man, that just means...
As an Iron, it's harder.
As an Iron Man, that just means double time. So it's like, yeah, I don't know.
It sucks because for a main, I could just be like, it doesn't really matter to me if I lose time because I'm just doing it for fun. But I could also just go buy supplies if I waste everything. So it's easy.
That's why I do like Iron Man for that, even though I'm creating my own problems, I guess, but it's like, I don't know, main is kind of boring because of the same thing.
I think it will keep you, like, you'll appreciate the PVM that you do more because you got to put more effort into preparing for it.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, and also you'd appreciate them drops way more. Like if you got a T-bow or something on an iron, like that's just nuts.
Yeah. What else did you do?
Yeah, I did some TOA. Did chambers. I literally don't think I saw any purple splits because for a lot of the week I was doing more of the bingo stuff, just like God War Dungeons things. It's weird. Yeah, at least I didn't write down any splits at all this entire week.
Well, yeah, you didn't get a split, but during the bingo, didn't you get some drops?
Yeah, during the bingo I got lots of splits, but I talked about them all last week. We got a lot of God War Dungeon stuff, but yeah, I've sent quite a few chambers the past few days, actually. I keep just going on saying, all right, I'm going to do 1 chambers and then TOA, and then I just end up doing chambers all stream.
Yep.
But it's been a lot of fun, because there's a few people who don't that don't TOA, but at the same time, there's some people that don't chambers. Like, Wraith doesn't do chambers, because they're at 1,999 kills, and they want to save it.
Yeah.
But it's been a lot of fun. It's been over 1 million personal points and over 100 KC since I got my last purple, so I'm just like, technically any day now, but 50-50 always,
Yeah, of course.
We'll see.
As it is.
Even if I got an Arcane, at least that'd be a collection log. I really want Arcane to be the last purple I get, because I think that'd be a funny thing to have to grind for.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, I mean, it's better than having to grind for a T-bow.
It's probably going to be the pet with the dust.
I know, right?
Yeah.
God. I also realized if I ever get the pet, I like the Mudded one the most.
Yeah, Mudded are really cute.
So cute. Well, I like the Vasa because the Vasa's cool, but Mudded is just adorable, and he just like looks like he's just hopping around.
Well, good luck, because you can only get the metamorphic dust in challenge mode, so.
And it's not like TOA where you can guarantee to get it if you do it well. It's so uncommon.
Well, actually, also, if you, it'll probably take you a while, so by the time that happens, you'll likely have the new items that they're coming out with.
And Desert Treasure too?
Yeah, and they're very strong.
Ooh, okay, I'm excited about that.
So maybe that'll make it a bit easier.
Maybe I'll be able to use those for TOA, because I still haven't gotten my Akka Transmog. Still have not even tried.
Yeah, you definitely will, and they will definitely help.
Okay, I'll pretend that that's why I'm waiting.
Yeah.
But, other than that, I did get a level up this week. I got my mining to 90.
Nice.
Yeah, so I only have 3 more skills that are under 90. My construction's 85, agility and smithing are both 89. So I was doing some agility whenever I was waiting for Robert to come over for the podcast. And yeah, I'm excited. I'm almost base 90s.
Cool.
But will I keep skilling? No one knows. Next
Who
week, I'll
knows?
be like, so I did a lot of reads.
Yeah, that's more than likely what will happen.
Oh, another thing that I was doing the past couple days I've really been enjoying. I have another sponsorship.
Yeah, so this episode is sponsored by us yet again.
Yeah, sponsored by Call of Dragons.
Call of Dragons. It's actually a pretty cool MMO-like game.
It's like a little fantasy game and stuff. You could choose from different factions, being elves, humans, or orcs. And it's like, those are ranged, mage, and melee. So I chose the range one, and I don't know, I'm just like really enjoying it. It's one of those games where you just like kind of do buildings over and over, and you get speed ups to go through it, and then you just like attack people around you. It's like similar to a lot of other games.
Yeah, so for anyone wondering, it is a cross-platform game, so you can play it on your PC or on your phone. And
But for the sponsorship, it's PC only.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you want to support us, you can click on the link in the, in the description of the stream.
Yeah, it's on Linktree as well.
In our Linktree as well. So that'll really help us out. Just get to level 7. It's actually a pretty fun game. It's an MMO type game where you build up characters and buildings, and then you attack other people. There's actually even PvP in it as well.
Yeah, the PvP, we attacked somebody's hut last night. It was kind of tragic. Their hut was on fire. It's kind of morbid. But they were trying to attack us first, I guess. I don't know. That's what my team said. I also have an alliance, but you have to be in... What's it called? You have to be in server 88, Celestia Bay, to be in my alliance. We did not realize that. There was 30 minutes last night where we were trying to figure out why some people couldn't join my alliance, and we realized that they were in the wrong server, and to get to mine, they had to restart their characters.
Nice.
So, server 88, Celestia Bay, if you want to join my alliance. But, yeah, to help it out, get your little main haul to level 7 and join an alliance, whether that's my own, which is called Bunebape, or just a random one. And basically get, like, $15 a person. So, help out your girl. It's a lot of fun. I was only going to play it for 2 hours the other night, and I ended up playing it for 4.5.
Nice.
And then last night, I wasn't going to play it at all because I have to have 2 days in between the streams. And I ended up playing it and just changed my category as just chatting so that stream elements wouldn't realize that I was playing it.
True.
I'm really liking this game. I'm having a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
It's not replacing RuneScape or anything, but it is a lot of fun.
Is that all you did?
I think... That's it. And I've just been working because, I'm a working gal now.
Big time worker.
Yeah. I had another interview with this other place that's like more, it's like an animal shelter kind of. I don't know. Animal-esque.
Yeah, working with animals seems fun.
Yeah, but I don't get to work directly with them, and I'm not qualified for that. But that's cool. So potentially after this temporary job's over, I'll have a different job waiting for me, hopefully.
Cool.
And yeah.
All right.
Anyway, how are you?
Yeah, so I have not been up to much. Surprise, surprise.
You were skilling some.
I did a little bit of mining, actually. It was pretty nice because, I still like skilling in RuneScape. It's fun whenever you're, you have some time that you want to waste because, that's just all it is. It's just takes time. I don't know.
Speaking of, I think I'm going to do agility while you say your updates.
Yeah, so I was just doing a bit of mining in Metalode Mine. So I actually have 200 extra nuggets now. I already have the full outfit, so...
Oh, you could greenlog it then.
Yeah, no, I definitely could. And I probably will eventually. I'll probably buy the extra big sack and definitely some gems so I can cut them. So
Oh yeah, the gems are probably really good on iron.
Yeah, it's definitely really good crafting XP.
Dude, I bet that shooting stars are really good for iron because you get more gems per hour from shooting stars, star fragments.
Yeah, or I guess if that's your only option, but going to the gem mine is just way faster.
Oh, yeah, in Shiloh Village.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. Okay. I forgot about that.
Yeah, I was like, yeah,
well, if you want
to
AFK, you could do shooting stars.
Yeah, exactly. So that's, I'm not doing shooting stars, so I'm just doing that for now and getting a bit of crafting XP, which will be nice. And I already have the coal bag and stuff like that, so it's pretty much already greenlogged for all the stuff that I actually need.
That's good.
But so I've just been doing a bit of that. Probably continue doing that for a while until I want to do Hunter, and then I'll probably move to Hunter because that's also fairly AFK.
Hunter, you'll just be doing what?
Chinchampas.
Oh, Chinchampas. Nice.
Yeah, and Chinchampas until Herbivore, if I can do Herbivore. I forgot if that has a Herblore requirement or not, but if not, then I'll probably just do that.
What was your goal before, months ago? I think it was more related to a quest.
I don't know. I know I wanted to get
it was maybe the new quest, the Muspa one.
Oh.
I think you were going to try and get to that. Or maybe you were going to try and get to TOA.
I think I was going to try and get to Muspa when it first came out, but then what's it called?
Everyone forgot about Muspa?
No, it turns out there's actually like a ton of quest requirements that I didn't want to do, and so I just ended up not wanting to do that anymore.
And now you're on that skilling grind anyway.
Yeah, exactly. So I'll just continue that, and then well, luckily for the new quest, spoiler alert, you will not need too many things, so I actually might be able to do it on this account.
Oh, Desert Treasure 2?
Yeah.
I mean, you have to do Desert Treasure 1 though.
That's true. That's true. That's true. But it's luckily I can actually I think already do that almost.
Oh,
so
nice.
Cool.
Okay. I know. I don't remember how far along your GIM is.
Yeah, I think I'm like 1,500 total or something like that, around there.
That's good.
Yeah, it's pretty decent. But I'm just gonna continue skilling every once in a while.
Yes.
But with that out of the way, we can move on to the new skill pitch for this poll. It's actually pretty exciting, but also pretty controversial,
okay,
obviously.
Wait. No, never mind.
Yeah, so just to keep our opinions out of it, we are going to have those saved until the end of this poll so you can get an understanding of what the poll is, and then we'll tell you what we think about it after.
Yes. So if we start saying our opinions, please tell me to stop, Robert,
okay.
and I will tell you to stop because we have a lot of thoughts.
Yeah, so the new skill pitch poll results. This came out on the 11th, so actually just yesterday from recording this. So this poll actually got over 178,000 votes, so a pretty good percentage of the player base.
Whenever I first read that, I thought it said 78,000. I was like, damn, that's not even that much.
No, it's not. Yeah, it was nearly 179,000 votes.
Honestly, not as many votes as I'd expect, though.
I mean, that's, I think...
A lot of people just don't vote.
Pretty close to the largest of all time. Not just in recent times, but like ever, even including the creation of OSRS.
Well, yeah. I just meant there's definitely way more people that play it.
Yeah.
But some people just don't vote.
Either way, at the top of the poll, they say, our philosophy has always been to put our community at the heart of everything we create. After all, we make the game for you. In line with this, we've made massive changes to our polling approach, taking your valuable feedback into consideration much earlier in the design and the development process. Critically, this means that we spent less time on content you don't want because we're able to drop unwelcome ideas much earlier on. The new skill pitch poll has been the first real trial of the system, and we think it's a great success. We hope our new community-centric approach has been a welcome change for you all. So pretty self-explanatory. This is kind of going along with the new pitch system that they had explained earlier this year, which essentially was just saying that they're going to
give a vague idea first before they expand on it.
Exactly. So for the poll results, like I said, we had nearly 179,000 with only 2 questions asked. The first one is, after reading the new skill pitch blog, which concept for a new skill in old school RuneScape would you be happy to see refined further?
And this one was a multi-choice answer.
Multi-choice. Select all that apply. And so, of course, we had sailing, taming, shamanism. I didn't like any of them and skipped the question. So, unsurprising, sailing and shamanism were the 2 front runners, with the only separation being 0.3%.
0.4%.
0.4%, sorry, which is actually just around 600 votes. So it was 105,800 votes to 105,200 votes, rounding up and down a little bit.
And sailing won.
And sailing won by 0.4%. And taming actually wasn't too far behind. It was at 39.9% with 71,000 votes. So
yeah, way closer than I was expecting.
Yeah. Also, a surprising amount of people just said they didn't like any of them, being 22,000 or 12% of the vote.
I was surprised by that too.
Yeah, so that was pretty interesting.
2,000 people also skipped.
Yeah, 2,000 people did skip. And then the second question is, which new skill pitch is your favorite? So I kind of found it interesting that they had both of these questions, but either way,
we'll talk about the end, don't worry.
Yeah, the second question, of course, had all the same options: sailing, taming, shamanism. I didn't like any of them, and skip question. And unsurprisingly, we had sailing come out ahead by a whopping 3%.
I didn't think that it was unsurprising. I thought shamanism might win.
No, yeah, I thought it was. I thought it was.
You thought sailing?
Yeah, I thought it was going to be sailing.
I think maybe I was hoping shamanism.
Yeah.
But honestly, there's so much hype already around sailing that makes sense.
Yeah, I agree. And so
sailing 36%, but shamanism was right behind at 33%.
Yeah, the difference was just about right
6,
around
000?
It was right around 5,000 because it was pretty much 59,000 to 64,000. So not too big of a difference. And then taming came in third, of course, at 17.7%. And then actually, I didn't like any of them pretty much right behind it at 12.3%.
Very surprising.
Yeah, it was surprising, but if you looked at the previous question, not really, because it's pretty much the exact same amount of votes on both of them.
Also, skip question, 1.3%. I was one of those votes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now I regret that, which I'll talk about later.
Yes, we will talk about later. So there's not too much to go over. There is a little bit of pretty much a summation, kind of just like what I went over just now. So they go on to say that we've already taken on board early feedback about community deal breakers, such as the navigational mechanics and the concern that the skill will feel like a minigame.
Oh, wait, just to be clear, too, I don't think we straight up said sailing won. Sailing is moving on to the refinement process.
Yes. So
yeah, we said the results, but we didn't straight up say it. Sailing won.
Yeah, because sailing won the first and the second poll, they are moving on with sailing.
Only sailing.
Only sailing.
Which we'll get to.
And so sailing has been chosen as both the community's favorite skill pitch and the skill we'll take forward into refinement. So, like I said, they're focusing on making it not feel like a minigame. In the near future, we'll present a more detailed explanation for what refinement means for sailing. Our kickoff meeting is scheduled later this week. We're glad that our skill pitches resonated with so many of you, but unfortunately, it's time to say goodbye to one of them. Taming was pretty popular, but we didn't receive nearly as much support as the other two skills, so we won't look to pursue this idea further.
Oh,
unfortunate.
No.
Sad for the
At
animals.
all? I didn't read that part.
Yeah. However, the third skill, shamanism, came very close to taking the crown, with just a 3% difference in the votes. At times, shamanism and sailing were just 100 votes apart. With that in mind, we think it's important to talk about what's up next for our runner-up skill. Mm-hmm. While sailing was, of course, our primary, or will be, of course, our primary focus, your feedback regarding shamanism was clear. You love the concept of the spirit realm and see the potential to revitalize underutilized areas of the game. You also like the idea of expanding our rich lore, and in general, production and gathering skill was something the community felt fit old school to a T. I agree.
Definitely.
They continue on by saying, you may be wondering, since the votes were so close, why didn't we run a tiebreaker poll for sailing and shamanism? This was something we considered when it became clear that the two pitches were neck and neck, but ultimately we decided that this approach had too much potential to hinder the process. We'd probably be left with the same situation where the results were very close. Plus, we don't like the idea of pitting two amazing skills against each other. While we love seeing your passionate arguments for the new skill, we want the community to really come together during the refinement process. And they finish off by saying, we completely understand that some of you will be disappointed that your preferred skill didn't win the poll this time, but remember, we're still open to adding more skills in the future, and you still have the chance to make a significant impact to the development of the winning skill.
They said, like, specifically, taming's done, right?
Yeah. So even if sailing's not your favorite, please continue to send in your feedback so we can shape it into the skill you want it to be. Let's work together and focus our efforts to create the best skill possible. Well, there you go. So that's it. So yeah, they wanted to thank everyone, and that's about it. So for everyone wondering, sailing has won. Unfortunate for whoever didn't want that.
Yes, but something to make clear, just because sailing won this vote does not mean we are for sure getting sailing. You remember the way that the polls are going to work. Now they're going to refine it, and the refinement we're going to vote again if we like it. So there's a chance that, honestly, sailing's the new skill. Let's be for real.
I was like, yeah, sure.
But technically, there's a chance that we wouldn't get skilling. This doesn't mean for sure we're getting sailing, but we are.
It's like it's only like a 99% chance.
It's like no one's gonna actually vote no. People are worried about spite voters, but honestly, I think that spite voters are such like a they're not real. They never actually make a difference.
Even if it is real, it's not to a real extent.
Yeah, it was the same thing with GIM. Everyone was terrified GIM wasn't going to pass. And it's like spite voters, like...
It passed by like 90%.
Yeah, right? They don't actually vote that much.
Yeah. And for anyone wondering, for all you maxers out there, you max players will actually have options to give feedback on what kind of ways you want to proceed going forward. They're going to be asking the community on whether you want to just have a separate trimmed max cape going forward. So you'll be able to maintain this one, obviously. Or I think a lot of max players are more just down to have to get the new skill to max to have a real max cape.
Yeah, but they've also were considering possibly adding a grace period.
Yeah, so you could keep your max cape for the first few months, and then maybe it'll go away. If by then you have the new skill max, then you'll maintain your cape, and if not, then you'll lose it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I
think that's probably the best way.
Yeah, 3 different options: trimmed, grace period, or just straight up lose your cape until you remax. Which I have seen a lot of people wanting the third one because obviously max players are more hardcore, so it's not a big deal to them, or to a lot of them if they just lose their cape. They'll just get it again.
I think a lot of max players don't mind. I think it's more people who are close to maxing who actually care more about the max cape thing.
Yeah.
Because people who are maxed are already like, a lot of them seem like low-key like they don't know what to do yet next.
Well, yeah, most people that are maxed have been maxed for potentially years.
Yeah.
At this point.
So they're probably cool with it. I mean, I'm also just like lumping people together based on stuff I've read.
Yeah.
But it seems like a lot of people worried about having to get max cape again are the people who just barely maxed or are about to max.
Yeah. So
I mean, which makes sense. It'd be fresh to them.
It does seem like most people are against the trimmed max cape thing. They definitely don't want that, seemingly. So.
Yeah. I think it'd be like kind of cool to see what it looked like, but maybe not.
Yeah. But that is it. So I guess this part will be more of our opinion of the poll and what we think about it. Well, first off, I'm glad that the new skill was chosen. I really, again, I think we said last week, I really don't care which of the three wins because I kind of like the concept of all three.
I didn't care which one won, so I said. But I did feel a little disappointed when I saw it was sailing.
Yeah.
But that's for different reasons. I mean, I know you have some Reddit posts pulled up, so maybe I'll wait to share why I felt disappointed.
Yeah.
Because you were going to say something about the polling. I'm not disappointed why you think I'd be disappointed.
Yeah, so initially, I don't think I'm alone in thinking this either, but whenever I saw the poll or the post and I looked at the results, I was like, okay, so these two are,
they're both 58, 59.
They're 0.4% away, and the other one is 3% away. So, not a big margin by any means. Sailing obviously won both of them. That's obvious, very obvious if you have eyes, but definitely by no means was there like a clear winner to me.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of, so I kind of was expecting them to do a repoll, is what I was really expecting.
A lot of people were expecting a repoll.
Like I thought they were gonna do not like full round robin style, like 5 sessions of votings, but like this was definitely
just be like take out taming and do it again.
Take out taming. Take out. I don't like any of them because obviously there's enough
that
people
was a minority.
There's enough people that like them already that's fairly irrelevant.
Mm-hmm.
Unless, I mean, I guess if you want to leave that in, maybe like everyone that did taming would do, I don't like any of them at that point.
True.
So I guess you could leave it in.
Just keep skip question.
Yeah, so I guess just take taming out and then like revote because then you'd actually get like a real vote. Because I mean, if you think about it, you're removing 72,000 votes by doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Or 30,000
in the second one. Yeah, taming had so many votes actually.
So yeah, that's a lot of votes. But yeah, I was really like taken aback that they didn't want to do a second vote simply because they don't think that they'd get to a resolution.
My thing was I don't think they should do a second vote, but my understanding, because they literally said which ones would you want to see heading to refinement, you could do multiple choice.
Yeah,
I thought that meant multiple could go to refinement.
Yeah, I think their wording was a little like underhanded.
Yeah, I don't know if there's a chance that we just misunderstood the last poll. Like we didn't go back and read it.
I guess so.
But my impression was that if there was like similar votes for all three would be going to further refinement, and then we vote again.
Yeah,
I voted for all three.
I haven't pulled up the quote or anything, so I'm not sure if this quote exactly exists, but I recall them saying like if 2 were close, they would refine both of them.
Yeah, maybe it's because of the 4% other vote or whatever, 3%. But it's like, I don't know. I mean, they were talking about how they're not like totally giving up on shamanism. They might do it after sailing, but I know at least a few people on Twitter and myself thought that meant their original wording meant that multiple things would go into the refinement phase.
Yeah,
and we'd vote later with more detail.
Like I said, I was kind of confused why they even had both questions.
It was supposed to be so if all the favorites were tied, then they would just go off the other vote.
Yeah, it kind of didn't make sense to me that they would have the first one where you could vote for all 3 and then really only have the second one matter.
Yeah, it's a bit deceiving saying that you could vote for all 3, but still only one chooses or only one wins.
Yeah.
Because I would have honestly only voted for one if I'd known that.
Yeah,
I probably would have voted shamanism.
I don't know how many people, obviously, but I've seen other people share a similar sentiment where it's like, if I knew that it would
only one vote counts.
Yeah, that this would have meant that one goes through, then I would have just voted for only one.
Yeah, I didn't realize like what it meant because I think I even said last time like I hope that they all three go into refinement because I thought that was an option.
Yeah, I definitely was under the impression that they would be able to refine more than one if it was close.
I also skipped the favorite question because I thought the same thing. I was like, oh, I'll skip because hopefully like 2 will move to refinement. I didn't realize.
Yeah, so.
I mean, that might be my bad for not understanding correctly, but I'm clearly not the only one who didn't understand correctly.
Yeah, so obviously the community, parts of the community are like, up in arms and outraged and stuff like that, but I tried to pull some of the more sensible ones, which are pretty much just straight up quotes from previous polls. So I don't know how more sensible you can get, but either way, so like one of the polls was, or one of the post from Reddit was actually just a screenshot of their original process saying that in stage 3, if the community does not have a clear favorite, we can adjust the top level concepts. Depending on your feedback, we might go back to the community consultation phase or take a little inspiration from player suggestions.
Okay, so that's why I thought it, because they were literally saying if there's not a clear favorite, then they would, that my impression of that is they'd expand on both of them.
Yeah, or they would, repoll or something to make it more clear of a favorite.
Yeah.
Because this is, I don't know, I mean, obviously it's a few thousand votes on the second vote, but I mean, compared to how many total votes it was, that's not very many. And the fact that taming was still there definitely removes some players, because I think it's not too far-fetched to, like, I don't care if shamanism won or not, but I'm saying that I think people that voted for taming are also more likely to vote for shamanism.
I kind of agree. Because, I mean, I don't know. I'm just going from what people have told me on stream.
Yeah, from what I've seen, people like doing their list of 1, 2, 3. It seemed like people that had taming at 1 would have shamanism at 2. So I don't know. That kind of makes the voting just feel disingenuous.
And I'm just sad because the reason I couldn't choose a favor is because I wanted more detail, and I thought that I'd get detail in multiple. So that's kind of a bummer.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's my own fault or whatever, but I'm bummed regardless.
Yeah.
I'm not necessarily like sad that sailing won, because I think sailing sounds really fun, but I thought we'd get to hear about shamanism too. So it's sad.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. So there's just a couple posts really quoting that part, saying that if there wasn't a clear favorite, then we would, readjust things. And there's multiple posts like that with, several hundred of votes and comments.
People are just confused because to a lot of people, it doesn't seem like there was a clear favorite.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially if you take out the taming votes, like who knows where those votes would have gone. It could have been sailing. Sailing could have won by a huge margin, but we don't know.
And maybe this is even like more apparent because of like recently when they've seemingly just been disregarding like poll results like over and over again. I mean, obviously, famous example is going to be the Abyssal Lantern, where they just completely disregarded that poll because they felt like it didn't fit thematically.
And the skilling prayers for the
skilling
new
prayers,
prayer book.
yeah, didn't make it at all. So, yeah, this is just another case of them ignoring it, but because it's like on a more
huge scale, it's
a
like
more
a
important
new scale.
topic, it's a little more annoying. And honestly, this is what I was telling Michelle, is like I honestly wish that they would just remove polling. Because it kind of seems like they're doing stuff like this on purpose. Like
maybe they want us to get tired of polling.
They're like kind of using like disingenuous, or I mean, whether they mean to or not, I mean, I'm sure they mean to, but like these like underhanded tactics to like rig the polling system in a way that they'll get whatever they want no matter what.
I know some people think it's rigged. I don't think it was rigged, but I also think that wording was very weird.
I don't think it was rigged, but I think they would have done the same thing if it was shamanism. And they
would have just been like, all right, it barely won, it's going through. And just ignore that it was like...
Like, how close would it have had to have been is what I'm wondering. Like, if they were both like within like 1%, because the first vote was 0.4%, so it's less than 1%.
And it was what, like 500?
Yeah, it was 500 votes.
And that would have been 499 if I'd known, because I probably would have voted shamanism.
Yeah, so...
I wouldn't have voted all 3.
Yeah, if it was the same thing with shamanism, I'd still have a problem, because I like
both of them. That's why I was saying, like, I'm disappointed, but not because I dislike sailing. I'm disappointed because it, like I said, it could totally be my fault. I didn't understand what it meant, and I thought we were going to get more than one skill taken to refinement. I know that not more than one skill is getting added, but I thought we'd get to hear more detail before we decided.
Yeah, it's Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of, again, it's kind of like disingenuous where it's like, oh, we're like a game made by the community, for the community, whatever. And then it's really just them being like, oh, we think this is going to be the poll, and then when it comes to the poll results, they're like, actually, we think this would be better for the game, so we're just going to do this.
Yeah, some things, if they're going to be like that, they just shouldn't poll.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, I'd rather just not feel lied to, which is exactly, I mean, we have proof, like, that we've been lied to over and over again.
The skill prayers, the abyssal lantern.
This isn't the first time we've been lied to over and over again.
I'm like, if you guys think you know better, that's chill. Just say you know better and you want to do that.
I don't have a problem when World of Warcraft or Elder Scrolls makes a change in their game, because they're developers. That's expected for them to do those things. But for me I don't think I have a choice in those changes. Exactly. So it doesn't matter. I'm not over there being like, hey, Bobby Kotick, owner of Blizzard, I don't like the way Warriors play right now, so if you could just nerf them, and then the next patch they get buffed, I'm like, oh man, Bobby hates me.
Yeah.
Like, that's not what's happening here. That's just which is exactly, it's different expectations, which I think is why everyone's so upset about that.
Yeah, I feel deceived about the wording, but I don't know if that was just my own fault. I don't want to totally blame them because, like I said, I didn't go back and read it because I'm lazy.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I don't know. You can just easily look through a few different posts on, Reddit or other places, and yeah, there's pretty clear quotes that they just were either lying or maybe they just misremembered. I don't know. But either way, it's just been really weird. I'm glad. Hopefully sailing is really cool. It sounds like a cool skill, especially since it seems like they put a lot more work into explaining the systems compared to the other skills. Mm-hmm. But yeah, since they had more opportunity to explain that skill, it seems like it's come a long way. So it seems pretty cool.
There were some things that were annoying me in people's criticisms, being like, oh, they rigged the vote for sailing to win because they had a sailing prompt years ago they put so much effort into. And I'm like, they literally said multiple times that this is a totally different skill than the one they did before.
Yeah, also,
I don't think that the votes were rigged at all. I think the wording was weird and like a little sus. Yeah. I don't think it was rigged.
Also, they even said in their like Q&As that sailing would require by far the most amount of dev time because of the new movement system. So I doubt they would like
rig in that direction.
Yeah, push that through.
I think that they wanted
more work.
I think shamanism was probably their favorite.
I think so because they
came up with it on their own. Yeah. They probably were more passionate about that.
And I think it's
kind of why I was more interested in it rather, because I was like, I want to see where their little passion project takes them.
Yeah, and also it seemed like by far the most OSRS idea of the three.
It sucks that it took knowing the results of the poll to make me realize that I actually wanted shamanism the most.
Yeah, unfortunately.
I know sailing will be fun, but a little sad. Also, like I said before, people are worried about spite voting making it so sailing's not added. I wouldn't worry about that, you guys. Spite voting has never actually made a big difference, ever.
Yeah.
Just like we were saying earlier with the GIM, everyone was like, oh my god, GIM's not going to pass because of spite voting. Spite voting was nothing.
Yeah.
It's fine. I'm not going to spite vote. I mean, if the sailing sounds fun, I'll still vote yes.
Yeah,
so don't spite vote. Don't spite vote and don't worry about it because it's probably fine.
Also, anyone that is saying anything in the defense of them not having a tiebreaker, such as they only used the word they might have a repoll.
Robert was annoyed at this one post. They were like...
It's such a semantic thing for you to nitpick at. It's like not even lawyers would look at stuff like that because it's such a dumb argument.
He was upset because somebody said they were just quoting people's arguments compared to Jagex said. And they were like, they're not even going to do a repoll. Yeah. And they're like, well, if you remember, they said they only might do a repoll. They said
they might,
might is the key word here.
Bolded in all caps. I'm like, okay, you can't just win an argument on the word might. It's
literally.
I might, fly to the moon. It's like, no, there's no chance that's going to happen. It's like, come on, dude. But either way, and also some people I also wish they had a better excuse for not doing a tiebreaker besides them just saying, we don't think that it would, end up working out. It's like, oh, so you just...
I mean, even if they don't think it would work out, I think it would give a lot of people peace of mind just to see that it was that close, A lot of people could be like... That would, settle a lot of things, I feel like. Just seeing it and being like, oh, okay, cool. I was just maybe being dramatic. It wasn't that big of a deal.
Yeah, I think most people just want to, see sailing win by, 10%. Yeah. Which, if that happened in the repoll, then cool, that happened in the repoll.
What if they repolled and it was 0.4 again, though?
Then... I guess by that...
Why don't they just... If it was like that, I would just say refine them both.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why they can't take both of them just that slightly, one step further.
Yeah, they don't have to take it totally through refinement, but maybe like a little bit more.
Because I think there's so many unanswered questions for both of these skills that it's like hard to make a decision that matters.
That's why I couldn't decide.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's all of the RuneScape community is just in shambles online right now.
Absolute shambles.
Absolute shambles. But some of it's entertaining.
I think people definitely need to get better at giving criticism, but also a lot of people just are not good at receiving criticism, and so a lot of people just get defensive and say that people don't know how to give criticism when a lot of it is really valid and they just don't know how to receive it.
I feel like we're doing an okay job of not being like bad at it.
Yeah.
Like I feel like we're trying to think of it outside. That's why I even keep saying like specifically maybe I misunderstood something. Yeah. I don't want to totally put the blame on them if it was a little bit on me too.
Yeah. I guess my final thoughts is like I like the new skill. I think it's going to be cool. They've obviously put a lot of effort into it. And I think it'll be a cool new skill that is not going to feel like a minigame. But also...
You wish they would have expanded shamanism. Or revoted.
Yeah, I also just feel like they weren't using these, like, literally underhanded tactics.
Yeah, I think that their wording was deceiving. But I think it'll be fun regardless.
Or... it's either they're, like, purposely being deceitful or they're lazy. Both of which I don't like. Mm-hmm. So... Yeah.
Yeah. But at least they said potentially in the future more skills could be added because...
Yeah, that's a graveyard answer.
That's the one thing I'm holding on to here.
There's so many things they're like, yeah, we'll get to this eventually, and then we don't hear about it for like literally 10 years.
Right. They're like, if you guys remember back in 2013 when we said this.
Very literally 10 years. So actually, it's like whenever they say, oh, we can get to it, that's the same thing as like your mom leaving the market and being like, yeah, we'll get chocolate next time. It's like, that's never going to happen, dude.
It took me back to sad days of my childhood.
Yeah, it's like, oh,
there was never
can we get this toy? Oh, yeah, we'll get it next time, dude. It's like, no. Your mom will never take you to that store again.
That's what I did to my nieces. I just lied to them, too. I'm like, yeah, next time.
Yeah, exactly. Like, the next time never works.
You just hope that they forget.
Exactly.
Oh, that's so funny.
And the community literally does forget.
That is hilarious.
So, yeah, that's kind of funny.
But yeah, that's our thoughts on the poll results. We'd like to hear your guys's if you have any.
Yeah, pretty exciting poll nonetheless, and pretty interesting. So yeah, let us know what you think, and we'll be back after this break. And we are back.
Hi.
It is the next day, Thursday.
Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday indeed. Honestly, not much has happened since yesterday.
I've just did some raids, no purple still, so whatever.
Pretend
it's Wednesday.
I mean, honestly, that's good because we still have a lot to go over.
Yes.
So the next thing we're going to go over is Desert Treasure 2, the Rewards Beta.
Beta. Got him.
Yeah, however you pronounce it, it is that. And so everyone got a chance to actually, well, they will, if you haven't, have a chance to check out all of the Desert Treasure 2 rewards. That includes 4 new rings, 3 new staffs, and a new 2-handed axe.
Yeah, but before we get into the details of that, let's go through the blog post about the Beta Worlds.
Yes, and also, let's not forget the new prayer book.
Oh yeah, I actually straight up forgot for a second.
Yes.
Whoops.
So we start off by saying this year's most anticipated sequel is Drawing Closer. Wow, I don't know why. That's really weird to read. Drawing Closer. And before you know it, you'll be back at the Caridian Desert to start your next big adventure.
I like Robert reading the most normal sentence, and he's like, this is a really weird sentence to read.
To be honest, I don't think I've ever read the sentence or the word combination of drawing closer, so it just seems weird. I don't know. It seems like I'm trying to close a drawer, and they spelled it weird.
Sure.
Either way. We continue, but before then, we want you to feel confident in the rewards you'll get for completing this epic quest. You've already given us the green light, and now it's time to try the goods out for yourself. Honestly, it kind of feels like we've been in the Caridian Desert for like the last 2 years.
Because the TOA and stuff before?
Yeah, and like the events and stuff like that. Also,
yeah, all the weirdly holiday events in
even before that, like Temperos was there, and I spent a lot of time there.
True.
So it kind of just
is so random for there, honestly.
Yeah, it kind of just feels like there's a lot of stuff there recently.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, to be fair, it does have like the big black squares on the map because there's just nothing there. So.
Yeah, true. I guess so. But either way, we go on. Remember, the beta worlds are separate. So if anyone is wondering which worlds they are, it's 401, 05, 07, 09, and 412.
Yep, and they will not They will not affect your main account at all if you mess with these.
Yeah, it's an entirely separate save file, so feel free to go there and die a billion times if you would like. Also, please note that these worlds will include both the rewards from Desert Treasure 2 and Bounty Hunter. So if you are still
use them in Bounty Hunter.
interested in Bounty Hunter, this will not take away from your experimental time there. You can still check those out in addition to these.
Yep.
So for the Beta Worlds tips and tricks, they actually, I think last time I had some criticism for the Beta Worlds, and they actually took that on board directly from me.
I'm sure they did, bud.
But probably more so just from the general mass of people saying that their Beta Worlds are not that good. But whenever you do spawn in, you'll actually be spawning in with a full inventory of stuff, as well as a brand new item that's going to make it really useful for you, or really easy for you to have a good time there.
Yeah, if you don't remember, normally you have to go through like a list of items to get them.
Yeah.
This time they're just giving you all the rewards so you don't have to go do anything.
Yeah, so if anyone has never been to the Beta Worlds, you usually go to a chest to pick out any of the stuff that you want. And yeah, this time around, you do have an inventory of the new Virtus robes. So it's going to be a 3-piece set, as well as the new axe, currently called the Soul Reaper axe.
I like that name.
As well as the 4 new upgraded ancient scepters, so 4 staffs, as well as 4 of the new rings, all of the new best in slot rings.
Yeah. Also in your inventory.
Also in the inventory, which is the part that actually is going to make it a lot easier for you, is a weird green egg in the bottom right of your inventory. So this is a pretty common thing for anyone that hasn't ever used betas or been in betas, is they'll often have an admin item available to you. And so this time around, it's a weird egg. Usually it's just a random item that's been given a bunch of useful powers.
Yeah, so it's the Boss Helper tool, and it'll help you, let you access a plethora of options to make your testing experience smoother.
Yes, exactly.
And you get the green egg.
Using this green egg will allow you to teleport places. It'll allow you to switch gear. It'll allow you to have gear loadouts, similar to how it is in the arena. Also, it'll allow you to get the new items and allow you to swap prayer books. So it's going to be pretty useful for anyone that is looking to get into the beta and not having to stay pretty much inside of the Enclave if you want to get anything done.
Yeah.
So this
that
will make
seems
it
super
a lot
handy.
Easier. Yes, yes.
Need this in Game Rover.
Yeah, I know, right? So that's kind of what I was saying that they had in other betas that I played before. It's just something to make it a lot easier instead of having to be so tied to a certain area.
Yeah.
And it looks like they actually, regardless of whether or not they heard it, they took on that.
Jackix, are you listening to Bunebape?
Yeah, they probably listen to it religiously.
Yeah.
While you're at the tournament supplies chest in the Enclave, you'll be able to to see 2 options, gear and stats. The gear option lets you pick out specific items using the search feature. You can also use the loadout tabs to get all the gear loadouts available on the egg. The stats option lets you change your skills to whatever value you'd like. As tempting as it is to give yourself unlimited power, please do try to use the new items out at different levels. So yeah, make sure
not all just maxed everything.
Yeah, it's not always good to be maxed everything, unless of course you are maxed and don't ever plan on not being maxed. And then of course try it at whatever level you want. And then they also say that you can also use the altar in the Enclave to swap your spellbook. Or if you've gone further afield, you can head to your player-owned house, which has been magically kitted out with an occult altar, an ornate jewelry box, an ornate jewelry or rejuvenation pool, and a maxed out portal nexus. So no wild parties, please.
Definitely having a party.
It's nice. Yeah, you get a fully decked out house if you happen to not want to make it back to the Enclave, which is nice because, like I said, it's really annoying to have to be going back to a place that you're not used to going to.
Mm-hmm.
But that being said, they, of course, still have all of the regular amenities at the Enclave for anyone that wants to try out stuff. You can still go into, all the regular
like
arenas.
LMS and things?
No, not so much LMS, but all of the other arenas to fight people like one-on-one and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
So you can go into the portals for that. Obviously, you could just go straight into the wilderness for that, especially if you want to try out stuff for the bounty hunter as well.
But moving on to the Desert Treasure 2 rewards, we've already gone over this before, but we'll do a quick little rundown on them again, because I think it's been a while, actually, since we talked about them. Or I don't know if they had all these stats.
We've never had the stats for them.
Oh, we never had the stats before?
No, we just knew what they were going to be.
Okay, I guess I'm thinking of the bounty hunter stuff.
Yeah, for anyone wondering, these 4 rings are going to be direct ascendance, essentially, of the old DK's rings, making them straight up obsolete. There's no going to be any imbuing or anything like that. This is just how the items will drop.
Yeah, so the new best in slot rings. After you complete the quest, you can go back and fight the 4 bosses for a chance to bag yourself one of these mighty rings of power. So the Ring of True Blood, which gives you...
Sorry, before you get into this, also a lot of people are complaining about the names of the rings. And so these are more or less placeholders from what I understand.
Why?
A lot of people don't like them.
What's wrong with Ring of True Blood?
Well, the Ring of
True Blood
is... Well, no, because it has nothing to do with being a berserker or with blood.
Oh, never mind. It doesn't. You're right. Well, I thought that there was going to be stuff like for all the different elements, but that was the staffs.
Yeah. Also, if you look at like Ring of True Smoke, it has nothing to do with range.
But anyway, so the Ring of True Blood will give you plus 12 melee strength. The Ring of True Ice will give you plus 15 mage and plus 2% magic damage. Ring of True Smoke will give you plus 10 range and plus 2 range strength. And Ring of True Shadow will give you plus 12 slash bonus and plus 4 melee strength.
Yeah.
I guess that the criticism's fair for the names.
Yeah, exactly.
I just thought they were cool names. I didn't really think about the meaning there.
Yeah. And also, while we're going through this, something else I've been seeing raised quite a bit around the community is that this is a lot of stuff that we're going to be going over.
Yeah.
Like a lot of, not just stuff we're going over, but new best in slot.
We have a lot of new stuff coming in the game. I'm actually so excited.
So some people have been saying that they're feeling like overwhelmed or like this is taking away from the old school aspect because there's so many new items. So
people say that about literally everything. This isn't old school.
But while we're going over this, I guess I just thought you should keep it in mind and let us know what you think, whether this is too many things or not enough.
Yeah.
Or just the right amount, I guess.
I do remember the original talks about it being like some best in slot stuff maybe would make more sense from raids. But at the same time, the old best in slot rings literally came from Dagonoth King. So, I mean, why not just come from a quest boss? Yeah. It's not like DKs are that crazy.
I think where it comes from makes sense, but it is a lot of items. It's not like DKs also comes with best in slot robes and best in slot staffs.
But also, there's 4 bosses.
That's true. Like, I mean, DKs is 3 bosses, though.
DK sucked. Never mind. I shouldn't have even brought them up. I regret it.
No, I agree. We'll get into that later, though. But we'll continue with the different items, continuing with the Ancient Scepter upgrades. So this is the 4 staffs that we talked about earlier. And these are going to all be based around the elements, of course, for Ancients.
Actually, the elements this time, not like the rings.
Yeah, so this is going to require 75 magic, 60 strength, and 50 attack. Attach one of these swanky little gems to your Ancient Scepter, and you'll empower the associated Ancient element by 35%, while giving the other elements a 10% buff.
As the Ancient Scepter already does.
Yes. So we have the Blood Ancient Scepter. So blood spells heal for more. Usually they only heal for 25% of damage dealt, but this Bloody Scepter will have you leeching harder than your fellow raiders. So it's going to be 25% times 1.35, so obviously 35%.
Love math.
So for a total of 33.75% healing, which is quite a bit more.
Yeah.
So it results in a 35% increase, obviously, as we just mentioned, which is quite a bit. Luckily, they don't have too many more numbers. Speaking of numbers that I hate. These ones I hate for many reasons, though.
Just read 2 of them.
So I'll read the one that is most divisive, which, of course, is for Barrage.
Yeah, onto the Ice Ancient Scepter.
Yes, the Ice Ancient Scepter. This icy weapon will hold your opponents in place long enough for the Empty Lord to rise again. Literally, because it holds you for a grand total of nearly 26 seconds, which is up from the 19 seconds that it usually is.
Barrage.
So normally it's 32 ticks, which is 19.2 seconds. Now it has been improved to 43 ticks, so 10 more ticks, which is 25.8 seconds. And this, of course, does apply to players. So
it's interesting. I don't know how that'll work with PKing.
Yeah, a lot of people are really upset about this because obviously if you get frozen, there's a good chance you're going to die already. And now this is like
guaranteed.
More of a death sentence than ever before.
The final nail in the coffin.
Yeah, so that staff is really strong for PvP, obviously.
I wonder if they'll end up changing it.
I don't see them changing it, but maybe. I don't know. Just makes me want to get caught out in the wildy even less if someone is bringing this around.
Right.
Next, we have the Smoke Ancient Scepter. Use this if you're looking to inflict your opponents with a particularly tenacious toxin. So it's funny. I don't know. I think this is a bug. There's been a bug with this staff in particular in the beta so far, but it's really hard to tell how strong this is because the barrage has been increased. The poison severity has been increased from 20 to 27. So that's what you got. That's the numbers. I don't know if it's kind of again hard to say how much extra damage that is straight up without doing so much math, but it just is stronger. So you know that. And also I have been seeing the bug that I was mentioning is like the poisons will actually be ticking for their full amount from the get-go instead of like slowly ticking up or something like that. So there's been videos of people comboing Krill or just like general stuff like that, just like literally one-shotting or like Vorkath, the new best time is 1 second.
What?
Yeah. So
I want this staff, Robert.
Yeah, so
they've been really good staff.
They've been using the weird interaction with poison as well as specs, and the specs are applying the poison on each hit. So it's like you can claw spec, and all 4 will hit for 27 plus the melee attack or something like that. Like it's just like a really weird thing. But
don't fix the bug. Add it to the main game.
Yeah, so I'm guessing they still have some stuff to work out with the new poison penetration and severity thing that they added to the game so long ago that they said wasn't going to be part of the game, but it is apparently ruining everything. But
the poison thing is kind of annoying. Every time that we've talked about it, it's just so mathy.
Yeah, it's really mathy, and also it just seems to only mess things up and is not really adding too much to the game. So I don't know why they needed to add it. It seemed like the last poisons that we had was just fine. I don't know. I don't know if this is so much better. And finally, we have the Shadow Ancient Scepter, obviously for Shadow. This will increase your amount that you lower your target's attack level by an additional amount. So Blitz and Barrage will have the enemy stat drain increased from 15% to 20%.
Pretty significant.
Pretty significant. So obviously that'll be, if an enemy has 100 stat, it'll be drained down to 80. So
nice. Okay.
Yeah, pretty big deal.
Moving on to the next set of items, which is the Virtus Robes. So the requirements for these are 75 defense and 80 mage. While fighting the 4 post-quest bosses, you'll be able to obtain components, 1 from each boss. Combine them, and you can make your own pieces of the coveted Virtus armor. We have to determine how much of each component you'll need, but we can say that you'll need to fight each boss at least once to assemble the full armor set. On the plus side, the pieces of the Virtus armor, I keep struggling to say it, they are tradable and they do not degrade. When worn, each piece gives a 4% damage increase to all ancient spells. Wearing all 3 of these also nets you a set effect that buffs ancient spells. So smoke spells reduce healing by 30% while the target is poisoned. Shadow spells also drain strength, range, mage, and defense as well as attack. Huge.
Very strong.
Blood spells can now heal up to 20% over the player's max hit points.
Very strong.
Yeah. Ice spells have 10% additional accuracy against frozen targets.
Also very strong.
I want it.
Yeah. So
in conclusion, I want it.
These are very, very strong robes for anyone that hasn't understood that already. But just for anyone misunderstanding it, each of these pieces have 4% increased magic damage only when using ancient magics.
Yeah, so that's significant to know too.
That is significant.
Like you can't use it with you could use it with your shadow, but it won't really give you the buff.
Still technically best in slot mage armor is gonna be ancestral with a shadow. But
if you're using
this actually comes in pretty close next to it.
Okay.
Which is actually the poll, whenever it was polled, the majority of people did say that they wanted the Virtus robes to just straight up be the new best in slot. And they did specify they wanted it to include the ancient magics. So I think this is going pretty good in that direction. These are straight up better than Aram's by a little bit.
Okay.
And obviously worse than ancestral especially if you're not using ancients.
Yeah, but not too much worse. I bet that a lot of people will just sell their ancestral to buy this.
Yeah, absolutely. Because these,
especially if you have a shadow,
obviously these don't degrade either, so you can just use these all the time technically if you wanted to. So that's pretty cool. And also obviously they do have some really strong combinations with all the spells, because if you think about it, If you are like barraging on task, then the ice spells having 10% additional accuracy just means you're going to get more damage.
Definitely.
So that's going to be really nice.
Sounds ideal
for Slayer stuff. But that being said, a lot of people have brought up, and this isn't the first time they brought this up, obviously with other things such as Masori and stuff like that, where they really wish that you could just have boots instead of a helmet, because obviously this is going to be used on task a lot. And you really want to have your Slayer helmet.
I feel like I never wear my ancestral head, whatever it's called.
Yeah,
the
hat, the ancestral hat.
So it's kind of annoying. They should just start doing boots instead.
Yeah.
But I get it. They have like their 3 pairs of boots. They have the crystals for them and stuff.
Yeah, it makes sense where I guess you kind of have to, sacrifice something, but it's different where the ancestral, there's no set effect for ancestral.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of like the crystal armor then.
Yeah, exactly.
Every time I have to use a Slayer helmet instead, I feel kind of annoyed.
Yeah, because you just don't get any of that extra damage and accuracy, and it's kind of feels, it just doesn't feel good.
Feels bad, man.
Yeah. Either way, the shadow spells are going to be really strong with PvP, reducing strength, range, and magic. So you're going to have to sip on some restores or something. Yeah,
some super restores. Keep them handy in the wilderness.
Yeah. Also, reduced healing while the target is poisoned. Actually, all of these are really, really good for PvP.
Yeah. For non-PvP, I really like the blood spells up to 20% over your max hits. Because whenever I'm doing like Akka during raids, I'll start blood barraging him whenever people are butterflying to heal.
Yeah, that'll
be nice to overheal with that.
Yeah, it's pretty much just like as if you had a bunch of anglers with you.
Yeah. So that's so good.
Yeah, it's going to be really, really good, especially for getting stacked out in raids and stuff like that. Yeah. So really cool. Next up, we have the Soul Reaper Axe. Oh, and quickly, before I forget, the mage outfit, the Virtus robes and stuff like that, they don't have any increase to magic strength outside of ancient magics.
Yeah, just the magic damage.
Yep, just the magic damage for ancients. And so back to the Soul Reaper Axe. So this is the new item. I was kind of surprised when I saw this because I forgot that we had the community item that was being made.
I forgot to, honestly.
Yeah, so I'm really happy about this axe because it actually kind of has some aspects from the stuff that I was thinking of. But this actually was taken directly as a suggestion from a player in the community. And
that's awesome.
I forgot, they actually have, I don't have the name here, but they actually have who they got it from.
Oh, if we find it later, we'll give them a shout out.
Yes, if we do find it later, we will give a shout out because, yeah, this was taken actually directly from a player in the community. Yeah, sorry, unable to find the name, but yeah, this was taken directly from a community suggestion. They actually had a really good post about it on Reddit where they even had a mock-up of what it would look like, not only in like the stat sheet, but also on your character in-game.
Nice.
Yeah, they actually did a lot of work. So this was based on that. It's going to require 80 attack and 80 strength, so fairly high. Each of the 4 bosses fought after the quest will have a chance of dropping a specific item that is used to make this axe, meaning players must kill all 4 bosses to assemble it.
Nice.
It's kind of funny. Between this, all the gems, and all the Virtus pieces, I feel like we're just going to be collecting scraps off of each of these bosses.
Actually, I kind of like the idea, though, but it is weird.
It's going to be like, oh, nice, I got another scrap.
I like it, but I'll admit it's weird.
Yeah. Then we have, it says, every time the player attacks with the axe, they will take 8 damage and gain a stack of the buff. For each stack of the buff, they will gain 6% bonus strength. This stack caps at 5 for a total of 30% increased bonus strength.
Well, but you'll have lost 40 hit points.
You will have lost 40 hit points.
I like the give and take vibe.
Yes. Also, while equipped, the player has an overridden special attack bar that shows the number of stacks they have. They can use the special attack while they have 1 or more stacks to consume all of the stacks to deal a bigger hit.
Nice.
The special attack gains 6% bonus accuracy per stack. So only the special attack does. In addition to the previous 6% bonus strength. So your special attack will be hitting really hard. Regardless of if the attack hits or not, the player will then be healed for the exact amount that they lost, regaining all of the health they spent obtaining the stacks. Players will not take damage if they cannot gain a stack, and don't gain a stack if they cannot take damage. For example, if you already are at max stacks, you cannot take additional damage because there's no more stacks to be gained.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's kind of what that means. So, yeah, this seems really strong. It has a 134 slash bonus, which is one of the highest, if not straight up the highest in the game, with 115 melee strength. The attack range is 5, so it is a little bit longer, I think. Or no, the attack rate is 5, so it is a little bit slower.
Yeah.
And the attack range is 1. So pretty standard on most other points. It is very strong to begin with, and also obviously 30% increase is pretty big.
Kind of like significant, a third of 100.
Yeah, so
whatever.
Definitely, gonna be really strong.
Just give me 100% bonus, you cowards.
One thing I have seen in the community raised as a concern, since this has been tested already, of course, is that the stacks do drop off fairly quickly. Not incredibly so. Like, you won't struggle to keep it up if you're just hitting a boss over and over again. But as soon as you stop hitting a boss, for example, some people have said that while they're on task and swapping between mobs, they've lost a stack.
Oh, that's kind of annoying.
Which isn't the biggest deal, but taking random 8% chip or 8...
Yeah, you still take damage.
Yeah, you still take 8 chip damage, obviously, because you haven't used the spec, so you haven't healed it all, so you're just taking an additional 8 damage.
For no reason, really.
Some people are saying you should honestly just not lose the stacks over time.
I think maybe a long period of time, not like you switch mobs and it's gone.
Yeah, because that makes this
few minutes.
A lot more difficult to justify using in like a raid setting because you're not always hitting the boss.
True, you have like puzzles and stuff depending on the raids.
Or not even that, just like if you're at Tecton, for example, you're not always hitting the boss.
Oh, yeah.
So you have to be like, all right, well, he's walked 10 feet away from me. I guess I have to spec now.
Yeah, right?
And you're just specing nothing just so you can get your health
back.
I
hope that they make it so they last longer.
Yeah, so that would be nice if it lasted.
Like a minute.
Yeah, I don't know the amount of time. It needs to be longer than whatever it is because I've seen not just one person talk about it, but multiple people say that
really?
They've lost stacks just while randomly like using it, and like they're not out of combat. They just are losing stacks because they're taking too long to fight the next thing or
that's frustrating.
To continue fighting whatever they were.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that I've seen raised as a concern. But overall, I do like it is a stacking item, which is kind of what I was suggesting because it kind of makes it so that it's not such a one-hit KO style of weapon. This is two-handed, for anyone wondering. So that's why the accuracy and the strength is so high because there is no offhand with this. So a pretty cool item.
Yeah, I think that'll be nice. I like the give and take aspect too because that was like their whole theme here.
Yeah, I do like it. Yeah. Speaking of give and take, we have the Ruinous Powers.
Yes. So, like you said, on to the most significant of all those rewards, the Ruinous Powers, Old School's first ever new prayer book. You guys don't know, when I record the podcast, sometimes I say stuff like that, I put my hand out like I'm introducing something.
Yeah, she's actually just the host of a TV show.
I go like full Wheel of Fortune on it. Anyway, we've given you the typo. Embarrassing.
Yeah, they need to proofread these.
Honestly,
there's a typo.
We even notice typos every week.
There's a typo every week.
We've given you a breakdown from seen in the previous news posts that we've been over before, so be sure to check that out for some more context, and most importantly, have fun. And we are going to go over these a little bit. They have pictures also of what the prayer book's going to look like.
Yeah, so we're going to probably go over the skills very briefly because
the prayers,
because we've already gone over them many, many times, but we'll just breeze over them so everyone knows what they are. Either way, these, I think one of the main things is I think these look good, but many, not just that many, but seemingly a very large amount of the player base have particular feelings about the way it looks.
Some people think that it needs to look simpler or that the colors should be different, like a palette kind of.
Yeah, I've seen every kind of critique between, it needs to just have, easier to see colors, or it needs to be...
reorganized is another one.
I think the main one is reorganized because, for example, obviously their main 3 overheads are normally in the center of the prayer book. These are in the top left, which are just not very conducive to being used.
And protect from bread's not even with the rest of the overheads.
Yeah, protect from bread is not with the rest of the overheads.
There's one that literally is just, it looks like a loaf of bread on fire.
Yeah, it's a loaf of bread on fire.
Protect from bread.
Yeah, so there's been plenty of suggestions from people on how to change this, how to improve it, or just that they don't like it. So I don't really see them keeping it as it is now.
I think it looks pretty, but someone pointed out that I kind of agree with that the color scheme feels very Korean.
It is.
It's like very archaic. Like
it is
like
very,
purples and blues and teals.
There's a lot of dark purple.
Yeah, when it's like desert is not really any of those.
Absolutely, I totally agree. But yeah. So with that being said, give us your thoughts on the look of the prayer book. Very interesting. I think it does look cool, but obviously
the bread one's my favorite. Like I'm like. Hopefully they keep the bread one as is because I feel another tattoo coming in.
Yeah, it's literally just
protect from bread.
Bread on fire. Also,
I love it.
One thing that's weird is with this update, there is a retribution or
it looks like Smite or whatever.
Yeah, it looks like Smite, but it's purple in this prayer book. But they also changed the regular Smite in regular OSRS to have this same look, but blue.
Is it different? I saw somebody saying, like, does this look different or am I tripping?
No, yeah.
And I couldn't remember what it looked like before.
Yeah, so now it looks different in the regular game.
Funny.
And people are, like, wondering why this is happening.
Yeah.
Either way. So,
anyway.
You know how earlier we were speaking about how randomly they change things sometimes because they think it would be better for the game?
Mm-hmm. That was it?
Well, we have something like that yet again.
Which one is it?
This is a twofer. Because obviously we had the polls earlier, and now we have this prayer.
It's just a little tooth.
So we have deflect, melee, magic, and range.
Yeah.
So this allows you to reduce the appropriate style by 90% and also reflect damage back. But now you have a 50% chance of reflecting damage back because they thought it might have been too strong if it was all the time.
Wait. Reduces damage from the appropriate style by 90%, but has 50% chance to deal 10% of the pre-mitigation damage back to the attacker. God, I hate reading that. That is the most annoying sentence.
Yeah, so for anyone that wasn't aware, before they didn't have that 50% line. Before it was just reduces the appropriate style by 90%.
And then does the damage.
Deals 10% of it back to the attacker. They added the 50%.
Of course they did.
Yeah, regardless of how you feel about that, that kind of goes along with what we were saying earlier, where they kind of just are like, actually, let's just throw this in because we feel like this is going to be better.
It's weird that they didn't even mention it was changed. If you did mention, I wouldn't have known.
They didn't.
Did you see on Reddit or something?
No. Well, yeah, actually, I saw other people bringing it up, but while looking at the skills, I noticed it.
Yeah. It also, it reduces damage by 90%, but only 36% in PvP scenarios.
Yeah, well, that's how it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how the regular overheads are, too.
Weird.
Yeah, so they even have an example saying that if you use deflect magic, or deflect melee rather, and an NPC hits you with melee that would deal 49 damage, you'll receive 4 damage and deal 4 damage if you hit the 50%. They forgot to mention that part. So yeah, kind of a really interesting thing they decided to do there, where they just randomly didn't put it in the notes at all, that they just completely changed what would be arguably the most integral part of this entire prayer book.
We just have fun here. Okay, that's all I know.
Also, of course, they added the offensive prayers, which give you 20%. These are all separate. 20% attack, 20% strength. Then we have the one that gives you 20% ranged attack and strength. We have the 20% magic attack. And then we have Trinitas, which gives you 15% of all attack and strength, including mage, range, and regular attack.
Nice.
Obviously not including mage strength. There's nothing that includes or that increases mage strength on any of the prayer books. Then we have Decimate, which gives you 20% attack and 30% strength. Annihilate, which gives you 20% ranged attack and 30% range strength. And Vaporize, which gives you 25% magic attack, and there it is, the only skill that gives you magic damage.
Prayer
that gives you magic damage, 4%.
I would like to say that I love the names.
Yes.
Decimate, Annihilate, Vaporize. It sounds like Alien Takeover or something.
No, you know what this reminds me of?
What?
Is whenever Ben Stiller in the bench warmers, the dodgeball movie, or it's not bench warmers, it's the dodgeball movie.
Oh, dodgeball?
Yeah. Where he's all like
dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge.
No, where he's introducing his team and he's like, here's laser
Stop.
and phaser and gazer.
I don't remember all their names, you weirdo.
Yeah.
I was just talking about dodgeball like last night on stream.
Yeah, that's hilarious. But either way, those are all the overheads. For anyone wondering what the difference is between the main prayer book and this prayer book,
there's not. No, I'm just kidding.
Is that if you noticed all of those offensive prayers, none of them have defensive components.
Yeah, they're only offensive.
Only offensive. Whereas maybe most people forget, but all of the offensive ones in the current prayer book, or at least the useful ones, being Piety and Rigor, have defensive properties as well.
Yeah, they help us all around.
Yes, they are very good. Then we have some overhead offensive prayers. So these are offensive prayers that you obviously will not be able to use with the protection prayers because these are also, like I said, overheads.
Yeah, it's interesting.
So we have Gambit, Rebuke, and Vindication.
Again, the dramatic names.
Yes.
So good.
So Gambit provides 8% accuracy to all styles. Then we have Rebuke, which increases your damage taken by 15% and reflects 15% of any damage dealt to you.
Nice.
Yeah, so kind of a little bit of a, sacrifice for extra damage.
A little bit of a rebuke.
A little bit of a rebuke. And then we have Vindication. When reduced below 10% of your max HP, heal for 15% of your prayer level, losing any remaining prayer points. And for 6 seconds after Vindication triggers, your next attack will deal 10% bonus damage. I wonder how useful that'll be. Because 10% isn't a lot for all of your mana or all of your prayer.
Yeah. Someone's been playing too much Maple Story. Is the mana their prayer?
You're banned.
Wait, did my joke make sense? I don't actually know Maple Story.
That's a thing that is in every game.
Oh yeah, there's even mana in Call Dragons.
You're like, this only pertains to one game.
I stand by this.
Either way, next thing we have is Ancient Vows. This is a new...
God, I hated saying the names of these ones last time. You say it.
Yes. There's a new class of prayers. These are by far the most complicated, so I'll try to explain them concisely.
Just a little summary.
We have what is arguably the best one, which is Cruor's Vow. While active, you have a 10% chance to heal for 10% of the damage you deal.
It's nice.
Very, very strong. Then we have Glacy's Vow. While active, you have a 20% chance to deal bonus magic damage. The bonus rolls off of the equipped style against your target's magic defense. The damage dealt is 10% of your initial hit. Then we have Umbra's Vow. While active, drain your opponent's defense by 10% of your damage dealt. Umbra's Vow respects the same limit as shadow spells, meaning defense cannot be lowered more than 15% of its initial value. This reduction would apply before other defense reduction effects, meaning there's still value using this alongside something like the Dragon Warhammer.
That's good.
And
maybe
finally,
too good?
Maybe. And finally, we have Fumus's Vow. While active, attacks consume 10% of your poison severity to deal the same amount as bonus poison damage to the enemy.
I'd like to say that reading all these notes about the poison severity makes me wish that there was nothing poisonous in this game. Because it just...
One thing that I think is cool is because you can increase the amount of damage your poisons do now with the addition of the new items. This might be cool because then obviously you can poison someone and then just continually deal more damage. But it makes me wonder if it's worth it because I haven't mentioned, but all of these prayers require a significant amount of prayer. Mm-hmm. Like the drain is very, very relevant.
Yeah. It's a short-lived one unless you have hella prayer pots.
Yeah, exactly. So you might want to weigh on whether these are useful enough to you. Also, I've seen a thing. I don't know if it's a bug, but I thought I'd bring it up anyways because they may or may not leave it in the game. I'm not sure if it's been confirmed to be a bug yet, but you can actually one-tick all of these prayers.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, it wasn't the whole point is that you're not supposed to?
Yeah, the whole point is you weren't supposed to be allowed to flick any of these prayers.
It must be a bug.
As it is, you could.
Yeah, surely they're changing that.
Yeah, in the beta you can. And then we have all the utility prayers. So you can make it so that your run drains your prayer instead of run. We have, that's Ruinous Grace. Ruinous Smite, while active, reduces both your and your opponent's prayer points by 33% of the bonus damage.
So if you happen to have a lot of prayer pots.
Yeah, if you have a lot of prayer pots and you know they don't, then you can smite them down.
That's a good one.
We have Wrath, while active, deal damage equal to 25% of your prayer level in a radius 5x5 around you when you die.
I love all the spiteful ones. They're like, I'm going to die, but I'm taking you down with me.
Yeah. Then we have Rejuvenation, while active, regenerate 1 HP every 20 seconds, roughly. Metabolize, which is the burning bread. And it reduces the action delay Not
Protect bread.
Not the eat delay by 0.6 seconds after eating. Similar to preserve, must be activated for some length of time, such as 15 seconds, before taking effect.
Weird.
Seems kind of dumb. But that is not the last one. We have one more, Berserker. While active, combat stat boost lasts 50% longer. So
nice.
Obviously just like preserve.
Yeah.
But that is everything. So that is the whole prayer book. That is all of the new items.
I'm glad they wrote like shorter versions because the first time we went over it, it was like almost annoying how long it was.
Yeah, I am glad as well.
I'm relieved.
So there is a ton of new items, new potentially
so many things.
Best in slot robes for many activities. Maybe not.
Definitely best in slot rings.
Definitely best in slot rings. A new potentially best in slot two-hander, with that being the axe. Maybe in certain situations.
I can't wait.
Yeah, I don't know.
All the new staff, so many things coming in.
One thing I do like is that the robes and the axe aren't straight up best in slot. Mm-hmm. Like you'll probably still want the scythe over the axe for a lot of things.
Yeah, but it'll be probably best somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. I like it seems like it is good enough that it could be replacing other things.
Yeah. And it's finally a new slash weapon, which I don't think they've really...
Yeah,
we've talked about this before. There hasn't been a new slash weapon in a second.
No,
so it makes
hasn't.
Me think one of the bosses is definitely going to have a weakness to slash.
Someone was saying that they're hoping that one of the bosses is weak to slash so that the scythe will be good again.
Yeah, that's what actually Saint Wraith, one of our mods, was saying this. And that's why I was encouraged to go and buy a scythe. And then like I bought it for like 350 mil.
Yeah.
And like whenever I first wanted to get it, that was like 500 mil.
Oh, yeah.
And it's already gone up 50.
And since we've been playing, it's been as high as 800 mil.
Yeah, so I'm really glad I bought it when I did because now we don't have to buy it again later for more gold.
Yeah, exactly. Or you can flip it if you really want to, if you don't use it.
Yeah, but I'll probably eventually in my life get in a top.
Yeah.
So I keep
saying. Speaking of slash, though, it's kind of a good segue. Some people are bringing up the point, then I think it's a really valid point. The Ring of True Shadow gives you 12 bonus slash and 4 melee strength. Mm-hmm. A lot of people are saying, how is that not just dead content?
Because there must be a new boss with slash.
Even if it is, how is 12 slash bonus ever going to come close to an 8 melee strength differential? That's a lot of melee strength. That's several items worth of melee strength.
It's supposedly supposed to be best in sloth though.
I mean,
so it must be worth.
It's obviously
but they are testing out.
Ascended version of the Warrior's Ring, which is also dead content.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever actually used that.
Yeah. For anyone unaware, the Warrior's Ring, I think gives, if it's imbued, I think gives 8 slash accuracy, and that's it.
I'm not sure. I don't even think I own it.
Yeah, it's only like 50k.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
But I mean, I think that they must be introducing stuff that slash will be utilized and that this ring will be relevant.
Yeah, it's just really hard for...
Or they could just be thinking, how are we going to replace all the other rings but not the slash one?
Yeah,
you know?
And I was thinking, and I've also seen other people think this as well since having thought this, that it should just be like a unique effect ring. Like,
what do you mean?
Like people, obviously we all voted for these to be just straight up upgrades from the Fremnik rings.
Yeah.
But this would more or less be straight up dead content when it released, which obviously no one wants. So why not just make it like a ring with a unique effect, like the Light Bearer?
Oh,
yeah,
could work. I mean,
because
Light Bearer
obviously
is so popular.
Obviously, you don't need 2 types of melee rings. You really only need 1.
Yeah, I didn't even remember the Warrior rings as a thing. So whenever we're upgrading them all, there's gonna be 4 rings. I was like, "There's 4 rings."
Yeah, yeah. Most people have never used the Warrior ring.
Yeah, I think it's used in niche scenarios.
Even then, I think it's just because someone's poor and can't imbue their Berserker.
Someone told me to buy one once for something specific, and I was like, I don't want to.
Yeah, they're probably wrong.
Yeah.
Because I don't know in what world 8 melee strength is just not worth it. Mm-hmm. But yeah,
we'll see where that goes.
Either way, that's something interesting to think about. Hopefully that gets potentially changed or something like that to be more worthwhile. Like maybe if it was like plus 20 slash bonus, like maybe that would be worth it. But even still, the accuracy isn't super strong compared to 8 strength.
Yeah, definitely. That'll be interesting to see.
Yeah. So besides that, though, we have a few of the more popular things from Reddit pulled up.
Mm-hmm. Relevant to these before we move on to the small little updates.
Yeah. So we do have people raising concerns again, like I said, about the prayers. They're still actually 1 tick flickable, which is kind of a big deal. But other people are saying that this is they kind of need to be one tick flickable because the drain on them is immense. Like you'll be out of it in just, not even 30 seconds. If you're using like the strength ones and the overheads at the same time, they run out very fast.
That is nuts.
But besides that, also people are saying that
like you were saying earlier, the deflect ones.
Yeah, people are saying that they voted for recoil protection prayers because I thought it would always recoil.
Yep.
Did I misunderstand the poll? Yeah, and the top comment is kind of weird that they pulled a fast one on that.
Yeah, so that's what we were saying earlier, where it used to be like, for sure, it would deal damage. Now it's only a 50% chance.
Yeah. And anyone that is saying, like, it's cool that they make these changes because they're being tested, it's not cool. It would be cool if we got the original thing and then it was play tested that it's too strong.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know how people justify random things saying, oh, this is just a play test. It's not going to stay like this. When things get implemented, they usually stay like that.
True.
Unless people get really, really mad, things usually stay the way they're implemented.
People might get a little mad about that one, though.
That's not just for this game either. I've seen this in plenty of games where like, oh, that's why we have a beta, because we're testing it. It's like, no, when these things get implemented, it's for a reason.
Yeah. There are several posts that he had pulled up of people just complaining about them being nerfed for seemingly no reason.
Yeah, seemingly no reason. There's many posts about it. And there's also kind of what we're talking about for the Virtus robe set. Someone actually had a really nice looking mock-up.
Yeah, a bit of a segue here into something else real quick.
Yeah, no, just as an additional thing that we saw on Reddit that looked really cool. This person did a really good job, whoever did this. I don't know, the person that posted this was Mint Brew. I don't know if it was them that made this, but either way, they made a mock-up of what would be a kind of an addition to the Masori set. Making it so that your Pegasians look Masori infused, and they kind of look like how the
These look like Masori, like the gold, reddish, and dark.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, this is like so not relevant to what we were talking about, but that's something that's always bugged me is your boots don't match any of your outfits in this game.
Yeah, it's like you're either wearing red Jordans or green Jordans.
Literally. Even if it doesn't have like bonuses, it'd be nice if it was just a cosmetic thing that we could change it. I remember when I got my crystal, I was so disappointed because I was like, wait, I just have to wear these ugly green boots now?
Yeah. I think it'd be really cool to add like a kit like this to make your boots part of the set effect or something like that.
Yeah, even if it wasn't a set effect.
Obviously, the Masori doesn't have a set effect, but, for things like the Virtus, obviously, it'd be really cool to have, your, Eternal boots, if you're able to turn those into Virtus Eternals or something like that, so that you didn't have to wear the helmet.
Let me get a gauntlet drop that will change my Pegasians to be crystal boots. How cool would that be?
You know what? Yeah, I think it'd be a good trade-off if you could do the boot thing and just lose the 5% bonus to your to the ancient magics.
Yeah, true.
So it's like, yeah, sure, you can wear the boots, you lose the bonus, but you get the damage and accuracy of the Slayer helm.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah, so I think that'd probably be a reasonable trade-off.
Just give us pretty boots.
Yeah,
anyway, that's segue over.
That too, yeah, even without the set effects. And then finally, we have one last thing, kind of talking about something that's definitely relevant that we went over, which is the 26-second freeze.
Yeah, they are literally saying 26-second freeze will ruin PvP.
Yeah, obviously we don't know too much about PvP, but I mean, I think this is pretty easy to see.
It's already terrifying getting frozen for 19 seconds because then you run away and you get frozen again immediately.
Yeah, this is a 34% increase in freeze time.
Jeez.
Which is a lot. And there is currently, as far as I understand, literally no way to mitigate getting frozen.
Yeah.
There's no counterplay.
It sucks because stuff like this is going to be so nice in PvM, but in PvP I just don't.
Yeah, your literal only counterplay for things like this is to pull out a Dins and sip a brew.
Really?
Yeah,
just deal with it.
Yeah, there's no other.
Whenever people freeze me, I panic and die. So,
well, yeah,
I don't know the strats.
I mean, Dins are so cheap. That's why people bring them around into the wilderness. Is because like if
doesn't matter as much if you lose it.
Yeah, Well, one, you could protect it.
True.
And also, it's not that expensive if you do lose it. It's, 3 to 5 mil, which is honestly not that much for most people. So, yeah, it's honestly kind of the only counterplay that I've seen, because obviously it's kind of hard getting through that much defense. And especially if someone's like running around with like nothing, you're like, oh, easy prey, and they just whip out a Dins. It's like, all right, well, this is going to be a little more annoying.
Yeah.
But yeah, 25 seconds is a really long time.
Yeah, it's gonna be terrifying. I'm very interested to see if they acknowledge that at all, even. But anyway, moving on to some more Pulse 79 improvements. So let's lay Desert Treasure aside for a moment and check out the first batch of changes for our recent Quality of Life poll. First up, Slayer Masters are now selling the option to increase the number of revenants received per task to between 100 to 150, which is up from 40 to 100. This upgrade will cost 100 Slayer points. Speaking of slaying stuff, players are now guaranteed a sleepy tablet at 100 Fasani's Nightmare KC. Thank God, bro. I mean, I don't even know Fasani, but this makes me more eager to try in the future for sure.
Yeah, the 5-minute runs were nice.
Yeah. Those of you who've already defeated the Gangly Gal more than 100 times, or who somehow managed to lose their tablet without using it, will now receive it on their next KC. If you already have a tablet, you won't gain another one. They don't grow on trees, you know. Finally, Laren's keys are now tradable between players and sellable on the GE. Yippee.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Some other small changes. Artio, Calvarion, and Spindle have been added to the high scores. Curators at the Varrock Museum have unearthed the display unit, which was accidentally placed partway inside a wall. It is now available to view in the proper place.
Yeah, and along with the Artio, Calvarion, and Spindle being added to the high scores, people have been very quick to make posts and to show that by far and away, the majority of the top 100 for each of those kills are bots.
Probably, yeah.
They just have thousands.
Or they're just the weirdest accounts.
Yeah, I mean, they are bots. Like, you can go to them, you can see them botting, they log out as soon as you get there, every time. They always have weird names, they have the same exact setups for everything, and they're on plenty of worlds. They also have thousands and thousands and thousands of kills there already. So, yeah, kind of just a really obvious botting problem that Jagex doesn't care about. But then, of course, we have Crack the Clue, right?
Yeah, so Woox has provided us with another clue.
Another awesome clue.
I'm not even going to read it, man. The first time I remember I tried to read it and I had to delete it because it just sounded like I was mumbling like nonsense to myself.
Just literally going crazy. And we have the main loadouts for anyone doing ranked duels.
PvP duel arena.
Yes.
Whatever it's called.
Either way, that's pretty cool. Some stuff for anyone wondering where on the horizon the challenge or the combat achievement point system is in the works. It's actually supposedly getting prepared for next week.
Oh, that'll be interesting. I mean, we'll see. We'll see, fingers crossed, if that actually happens.
Yeah, there is a lot of changes coming from Pulse 79, so they kind of said expect to slowly get them over the weeks, but hopefully CA will be next week.
I know some other stuff that's supposed to be coming next week, but I just won't say it just in case it's not.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, moving on to our Q&A.
Yes.
Our first question is from Ivor over on Discord.
Just to totally put a disclaimer out, this is easily one of the most heinous questions we've ever got. So try not to take it too seriously.
I kind of want you to read it, Robert.
Okay.
Would you do the honors?
Sure. So this is from Ivor.
This is the most Ivor question in the world.
Yeah, I don't really take pride in saying they're one of our mods, but they are.
Stupid. You're going to hurt Ivor's feelings.
They say, how excited would you be if Jagex added guns to the game?
I'd like to stop and say, not, would you like this or not? It's, how excited would you be?
Yeah. They go on saying, these would be extremely overpowered weapons with no requirements to obtain or use. Unlike other elements of the game, players would be free to use them on each other at any time and place, regardless of whether they were in a PvP area or world. Naturally, guns would have extremely long range compared to existing ranged weapons, maybe 20 tiles, attacks with a speed of 1, and hits like Jad through armor and prayer.
I'm sorry, I'm dying.
This would, of course, render the game unplayable, but some players may appreciate the opportunity to take... All right. So...
He's just skipping some.
That's where we'll end it there. Just thought it was kind of funny.
How excited would you be?
Yeah, I'm gonna take this semi seriously and
Please
say
do.
it would be cool if in the sailing thing they added like things like blunderbuss.
But it hits in one tick and
No.
hits through armor and prayer.
No.
No one is safe.
No.
I'm literally crying right
No.
now. Robert,
So
no one's safe anywhere. You just have a gun.
yeah. So disregarding the ridiculousness of this post, I do think it would be kind of cool. I've thought this for a long time. If they could have like long reload times on things like flintlock pistols or blunderbuss rifles. Obviously, that's very much the timeline for things like sailing and piracy. So that would be cool. It definitely doesn't go really well with the medieval low fantasy thing that we're already doing. Obviously, it's not high fantasy to have blunderbuss, but I'm just saying in the timeline, it's not really there.
I'd be okay with it if it was like musket style.
Exactly, yeah. So something with a really long reload time. Maybe it does a lot of damage. Maybe it even hits multiple enemies if it's a blunderbuss.
Maybe it even hits through armor and prayer.
Maybe it just one shots everything in the game.
And hit like Jad.
Yeah.
What?
But I think it could be a cool addition if it was not anything like this.
I'm so happy you read it.
Yeah.
We had a follow-up question to that. Ivor didn't even respond, which is kind of messed up, Ivor. But Harger said, what crafting level is required to make bulletproof vest?
True.
I think it would be like 75.
Okay.
That's my take. Anyway.
We did get a random question. Someone asked, how many cannonballs do you guys think it would be needed to go from 94 range to 99?
I'd like to say, I don't know if this was a question that we were supposed to just actually respond to, and I just never reply.
Yeah, either way, we're going to answer it here. Hopefully this person
Sarah,
listens.
I hope you listen to the podcast.
Yeah.
And also, we're not doing math, we're guessing. So.
Yeah. Well, it says how many would you guys think, so it's kind of a guess.
True.
Either way, also, it doesn't, they don't specify either way whether you're going to be ranging while doing this or if you're just letting a cannon roll.
Mm-hmm. What are you assuming
Which
here?
is a strategy. This is actually a legitimate strategy outside of the jail, I think, like north of Ardoyne.
I did that at Greater Demon Task because it was faster. There's single combat, and it was faster to just let it cannon all of the demons in the room than cannoning one and shooting it.
Yeah.
So whenever I had Greater Demon Task and I was trying to get 99, I was just hanging out underneath my cannon.
Yeah, so this is a legitimate strategy.
Or Slayer.
I guess assuming you don't range at all and just strictly use the cannon, I would probably guess a few 100,000.
94 to 99, a few 100,000. I
Yeah.
think it'd be a million.
Well,
Because I feel like I always have like 100K.
Because how much like range experience do you get per cannon usually? Like 10?
I don't know. Let's not look it up. Let's just make our blind guesses.
Yeah,
I'm going to say a million.
Mine's gonna be a few 100,000.
I think you're wrong.
Okay.
Can someone please do the math and tell us, please?
Well, because the experience is about 4 million, right? At that point, because it's 9 million to 99.
Yeah, something like that.
So 4 million, and then if you get, I'm just gonna pretend this could be wildly off. If it is like 10,
Assuming each cannon's like 500 XP each.
no, if it is like 10 XP per cannonball, then I guess it would probably be 400,000.
I'm not doing math. I think it'd be a mil. I don't
Okay.
think it'd be in the 100,000s. If it is, it'd be upper, close to a mil.
Yeah, I think it's probably gonna be around 500K.
Okay. Someone
Yeah.
please do the math.
Yeah. Either way, that's the answer to that question.
I'm sorry, Zara, if you meant that was a real question. We just straight up ignored you.
Yeah, rest in peace. We should really specify this is for usually.
I think I was thinking about changing it to podcast questions instead of just questions.
Yeah. Either way, moving on, we have an actual question.
Yeah, this one is from Harger. Dang, kind of disrespectful to Ivor that we're like an actual question.
Well, we have a question a little more thought out and a little more realistic.
To be fair, Ivor's was very thought out, just kind of off the wall.
Just a little less realistic.
I would like to say, if you guys want to read the full thing, we literally only read half of that.
We actually only read like a quarter of it.
Yeah, Ivor put a lot of thought into this, and I'm sorry that we're not reading your whole thing. It just got too crazy,
I am
man.
not sorry.
It got too crazy. Just talking about people fleeing from them and stuff. It got wild. But anyway, Harger said, do you think if Castle Wars was a standalone game, it would be successful? Before I specify more, off the top of your head, what do you think? And we'll see if you change your mind.
I will only say yes because I read parts of the second line.
Spoilers! Alright, so it'd be a bit like Team Fortress 2, where players choose a class at the beginning of the game, Archer, Mage, Warrior, kind of like Call of Dragons, my sponsorship game at it. Then players stock up on weaponry in the armory of their castle and go fight. The game would be first person and playable in a freemium format on all consoles and PC, aka Steam. Players can pay extra for emotes and fashion like Fortnite. The rights to the game would be owned by Jagex, but developed and maintained potentially by another company who can more easily develop FPS games and focus more attention directly upon the game. The only connection to RuneScape is that players can use their RuneScape account to log into the game, thus reserving their username and also allowing for Fashionscape items in RuneScape 3 and OSRS, depending on their achievements in Castle Wars.
Yeah, I think
it could totally be a standalone game.
I think it could be. That being said, I don't know how successful it would be unless it had some other niches, because specifically thinking about Team Fortress 2, that game is older than time and people still play it. Well, yeah, because it came out in like literally 1998 or something.
19.
Well, I think maybe the original did. I don't really remember what time Team Fortress 2 came out.
Yeah.
But either way, that game was around whenever I was playing Counter-Strike Source, which was 15 years ago. So it's pretty old.
Yeah.
People still play it. It's still fairly popular. If you look at it on the Steam charts, you can look at the Steam database. Thousands of people still play that game. So it would still be probably popular, but I don't know why people would choose it over things like Team Fortress.
I think for it to be chosen over other games, they'd have to really lead into the RuneScape like sister game vibe.
Yeah.
Like you'd have to like have a lot of similarities. Like the appearance would have to all like be exactly the same.
Yeah, I think it would have to be similar. Also, as an aside, I did play a game that was actually really cool and did remind me of RuneScape. It was called I forgot actually the name. It was called something. It was something with magic, but either way, it was a battle royale style game.
Oh.
And so you and 2 other people would log in, and you guys actually had like, instead of guns, you had interchangeable magical powers.
That's fun.
And you could like fly around or teleport and like shoot like ice spears at people and stuff like that.
Cool.
It was actually pretty cool, and
that sounds really fun.
It reminded me of RuneScape. Unfortunately, the game didn't do well, and I think no one plays it.
Yeah.
But either way,
it's just that there's so many games like that, you'd have to make it very unique.
Exactly, and that's kind of the thing I think they would run into here.
That's what I'm saying. They'd have to like really rely on similarities with RuneScape.
Yeah, because Castle Wars itself isn't obviously a popular game mode.
But it seems like whenever people play it, they do say it's really fun.
Yeah, but they don't continue playing it, which really reveals how fun it is. But yeah, I think it probably is fun in the moment, but like I said, for a thing to be successful, it needs to be fun always.
Yes, true.
So I think it would be cool, but then I think it would probably die out.
Yeah, it'd just be like some hype in the beginning.
Yeah.
And also everyone would start considering it XP waste.
Obviously, unless you had...
Even me playing Call of Dragons last night, someone was like, are you even like mining behind the screen? And I was like, no, full XP waste right now. Wow, it's pretty nuts.
Pretty gross.
I've been having such a hard time AFKing while I play other games. I just have given up on that.
Yeah, good luck.
I'm not getting max this year, let's be for real. So moving on to our next question. Our final question is from Matt over on Instagram, who first asked, why did Harger make a Christmas event proposal for Easter week? Which I would also like to know the answer of that. That was so random last week.
I actually don't remember it at all.
The one where it was Santa would come and leave you an untradeable item.
Oh, sure.
Right after Easter, we got that question.
Well, I mean, to be fair, they're both highly Christian holidays.
They're basically the same day.
Yeah, pretty much.
But anyway, Matt went and thought of an Easter event for us to get our opinions on.
Nice. This reminds me of Maple Story because they had an Easter event weeks after it came out.
Really? Didn't RuneScape do the same thing with Halloween? It was like 3 days before they did it.
Yeah.
And then they kept it to like November.
Yeah. It's like, all right, cool. Here's Easter. It's last weekend.
Yeah. It is now June.
Pretty much.
So Easter egg, the hunt for the chocolate egg. Just based on the title, sounds like cute. So players begin the event by talking to Fred the farmer in Lumbridge. He says the Easter Bunny gave him a special chocolate hen, which is supposed to lay a chocolate egg for Easter, which is to be given to the king. But a rebellious goblin teen stole and hid the hen. He wants you to find the hen and return to him before the king's Easter feast begins. The hen can be anywhere in the free-to-play world, not in the wilderness. Players must navigate the map until they find the hen, pick it up, and bring it back to Fred. The problem is that the hen moves around. If you search a certain area, the hen might move there as you're searching a new area. From a technical perspective, the chocolate hen is uniquely generated for each player when they start the event and exists from the beginning of the event until Easter night, 6 p.m. The reward is a chocolate egg because the hen lays 2 eggs instead of the expected 1. So the chocolate egg is an untradeable item that can be used in the emote Crack Chocolate Egg, where the player cracks the chocolate egg over their head and chocolate oozes over their face.
Nice.
It's like you slime yourself.
Yeah.
I like it. I worry that if you search the area and it can keep moving, that could get tiring over time.
Yeah, I agree.
But I like the basis of it a lot. I think that sounds like very like a RuneScape thing. The chocolate hen and the like they lose it and they need to give it to the king.
You know what I think would be cool
Hmm.
is like maybe it was like a magic infused hen or rabbit or something, and like then when you chase it around, it was like a prop hunt, kind of like how people have introduced that.
Oh, it looks like something else.
Yeah, like
But like maybe something kind of obviously Eastery.
yeah,
They're
so
supposed
like
to be easy for holidays.
exactly. So maybe like you're going around, and because the bunny doesn't know things in this world because it's a magical bunny, it's like a giant colorful egg on a stove or something,
Yeah.
and you're like, okay, and so you go check on it, and then it like pops up and runs away or something like that. That would be a little more interesting.
That'd be cute.
Because then it'd be kind of like a search and hunt kind of thing, but like more objective based instead of like, oh,
Yeah.
is it here? Is it not here?
Yeah, I think the running back to places you've already been could be frustrating, but if it could be like kind of how you're saying, it moves around, but at least it won't go back to the other area again.
Yeah, exactly.
And maybe like 3 times you catch it, and then you have it for good.
Yeah, I think that'd be cool. Because
That'd
then,
be fun.
it'd be simple, but it'd be kind of fun. Like, oh, where's Waldo kind of thing.
Yeah, and I'd like the idea of it maybe being instance, but at the same time, also some people like to just speed through and get help.
I think it wouldn't need to be instance. I think the egg or the item itself would need to be semi-randomized. Like it wouldn't always be on the stove. It'd be like
so
in
if someone
these
made a
places.
wiki, it'd be like a list of like 5 places.
Yeah, exactly. And then also that would be instanced, not the players.
Yeah.
So like they would just be running over the stove, and you'd see them look like they're cooking, but they're just picking up the egg.
True. Okay, I like this.
Yeah.
I think that'd be fun.
I think
I'm
that'd
like
be
combining
cool.
theirs with your idea.
Yeah, so I was like, yeah, because like by itself, just a random hunt would be kind of not super interesting, but in combination with something, I could see that being
Especially
really good.
if it was the prop hunt, they could just do something like that for Christmas because that is pretty popular right now. People would like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's trendy.
Yeah, so that'd be cool.
But yeah, that is it for our questions this week. If you want to ask your own questions, you can on any of our social media. So you can on our Twitter, which is Bunebapeosrs, TikTok, Bunebapeosrs, our Instagram, YouTube, and what else? Twitch are all just Bunebape. Ask us there. You could also join our Discord. Something that we've been doing a lot is like every Thursday and Saturday, we've basically been like watching a movie on Discord.
Yeah, so if you want to come hang out, watch movies, talk about video games, including or excluding RuneScape.
Maybe including Call of Dragons because I'm obsessed, bro.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to still keep playing after the sponsor.
You can ask questions on there, get set up for raids with us, or just...
You can find people to play with, too.
Yeah, with any help. Also, this was sponsored by our week's sponsor,
Call of Dragons.
Call of Dragons, so make sure to check that out.
Having so much fun. If you want to join my alliance, go... I said it before, but I'll say it again. Go to server 88 Celesta Bay, and then search Bunebape. Otherwise, you're going to have to make a new character after.
Yeah, so
which doesn't take too long, but still.
Thanks, thanks everyone for listening. Hopefully, you all enjoyed it, and if you did, we'll see you all
very soon. Bye-bye. Meep.